You open YouTube to learn something. Maybe it's a coding tutorial, a language lesson, a breakdown of something you've been trying to understand for weeks. You find the video, you hit play, and then, somewhere between the intro and the actual content, a thumbnail catches your eye. Just for a second, you don't even consciously decide to click it. But you do. 45 minutes later, you're watching a video that has absolutely nothing to do with why you opened YouTube in the first place. Sound familiar? This happens to almost everyone who tries to use YouTube seriously. And it has almost nothing to do with discipline. Here's what makes this particularly frustrating. You're not someone who mindlessly scrolls YouTube for entertainment. You actually want to use it for something real, too. Learn a skill, to understand a concept, to grow. YouTube has more free educational content than most universities combined. Tutorials from working professionals, lectures from world-class institutions, breakdowns of ideas that used to require expensive courses or books. The potential is genuinely extraordinary. And yet somehow, every time you sit down to actually learn something, you end up somewhere else entirely. You leave the session having watched 40 minutes of content, none of which you planned to watch, none of which taught you what you came to learn. And then you feel worse than if you just watched entertainment. Because at least then you wouldn't feel guilty about wasting your time. This isn't a coincidence. And it's not a character flaw. YouTube's entire interface is engineered around a single objective: keeping you watching as long as possible. The home feed exists to show you content you didn't ask for but might click on. The recommendations sidebar exists to pull you away from what you're currently watching. The autoplay feature exists to remove the moment of conscious decision between one video and the next. Every single design choice on that platform is optimized for your continued presence, not for your goals, not for your learning, not for your time. When you open YouTube with a learning intention and land on the home feed, you've already lost. You're navigating a system designed by some of the world's best engineers to redirect your attention. Your intention doesn't stand a chance against that architecture. So what do most people try? They tell themselves to be more disciplined, to ignore the recommendations, to only click on what they came for. And it works for a while, until it doesn't. Because the problem isn't awareness. You already know the recommendations are a trap. You know the sidebar is trying to steal your attention. Knowing isn't enough when the distraction is one click away, and you're in the middle of a video. Some people try deleting the app. That works until you need to actually learn something. Some people try watching on a laptop instead of their phone. But the recommendations are still there. The homepage is still there. The interface follows you. Here's what actually changes the equation. The problem isn't YouTube. It's how you're accessing it. When you open YouTube normally, you land on a homepage full of content you didn't ask for. That's the trap. You're exposed to the algorithm before you've even had a chance to remember what you came for. What if you could bypass all of that? LockTube has a feature called Search Access. Here's how it works. You set a timer: 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever your learning session requires. You enter the specific search term you're looking for. And then LockTube opens YouTube's search results directly. No home feed, no recommendations, no sidebar pulling you elsewhere. You watch what you came to watch. When the timer ends, YouTube closes. That's it. No willpower required. No resisting recommendations you never see. You never land on the homepage. You never get exposed to the algorithm. You go directly from your intention to your content. What changes when you use YouTube this way? The first thing you notice is that you actually finish what you came to watch. Not because you're trying harder, but because there's nothing competing for your attention. The second thing is that you retain more. When you're not partially distracted by a thumbnail you want to click, you actually process the content you're watching. The third thing, and this is the one most people don't expect is that you start wanting to learn more. When learning sessions feel intentional and complete instead of scattered and guilty, the motivation to come back is completely different. YouTube becomes a library instead of a slot machine. You walk in, find what you need, and walk out. Every time, YouTube is the world's best educational resource and one of the world's most effective attention traps at the same time. The difference between which one it is for you comes down entirely to how you access it. If you let the algorithm set the terms, you'll keep losing the hour you meant to spend learning. If you set the terms yourself, if you go in with a specific intention, a specific search, and a specific time limit, YouTube becomes exactly what it should be. A tool that works for you. If you want to try this, search access is available in LockTube. Free to download, no account required. Link is in the description. But more than the app, start with the intention. Know what you're looking for before you open YouTube. The rest is just making sure the platform respects that.